What if I told you that the life you want, every single part of it, is just one decision away? Not a magical stroke of luck, not a $1 million idea, just one brutal, unwavering decision to stop making excuses. Imagine this. It's 4:30 a.m. The world outside your window is still silent. Everyone else is asleep, but not you. You're already on the floor doing push-ups. Your breath sharp, muscles burning. Not because you feel like it, but because you decided long ago that discipline, real hard, no-compromise discipline, is your only way forward. Hello, I am Bharat, and welcome to Audiofybooks, where you will find excellent audio summaries of books in a very easy and interesting way. If you want to learn from new books, do subscribe to the channel. Let's get started with today's book. Jocko Willink's Discipline Equals Freedom isn't just a book. It's a battle cry, a punch in the gut, a wake-up call for anyone who's ever hit snooze on their dreams. Jocko, a former Navy SEAL commander, doesn't sugarcoat life. He tells you straight up, no one's coming to save you. You want freedom? You earn it through discipline. You build it by showing up day after day, especially on the days you don't want to. The truth is, we've all been fed a lie. That freedom means doing whatever we want, whenever we want. Sleeping in, binge watching, avoiding discomfort. But what we don't realize is that this kind of freedom is actually a prison. Because the more we give in to our impulses, the more trapped we become, by laziness, by fear, by weakness. And Jocko makes it crystal clear. The only path to real freedom, the kind where you own your time, your body, your mind, is through discipline. Not sometimes, always. You feel tired? Get up anyway. You're not motivated? So what? Motivation is fleeting. It's a mood. But discipline is steady. It's there when you're sick, when you're stressed, when life punches you in the face. And that's when discipline matters most. Not when everything's perfect, but when everything is chaos. Because discipline is the rope that keeps you from drowning in excuses. Jocko talks about this concept of default aggressive. It doesn't mean being angry or violent. It means taking action, taking control, refusing to be passive in your own life. Let's say you wake up and the voice in your head says, stay in bed. Default aggressive says, get up and fight. You face a hard conversation? Default aggressive says, step into it. You hit failure. Default aggressive says, good. Let's grow from this. Because the truth is, every obstacle is an opportunity, if you're disciplined enough to see it that way. But here's the part that hits hardest. Jocko reminds us that we are responsible for everything in our lives. Every choice, every failure, every habit. The minute you start blaming the system, your boss, your parents, your past, you've already lost. Because blame takes your power away. Discipline, on the other hand, is taking it back. It's looking yourself in the mirror and saying, this is on me. And that's a good thing. Because if it's your fault, then it's also your power to fix it. Now let's talk about fear. Everyone feels it, even Navy SEALs. But the difference is that the disciplined mind doesn't let fear make decisions. Fear is just a signal. Discipline is the response. And Jocko breaks it down beautifully. He says fear is natural, but you confront it with logic and preparation. You train for the moment. You build the habit. You don't wait until you're fearless to act. You act while you're still afraid. He even talks about how important it is to control your thoughts. Because your thoughts create your actions, and your actions create your reality. When your mind starts slipping into weakness, I can't do this, I'll start tomorrow. Discipline steps in and says, no, we go now. You retrain your brain to default to action. You silence the inner critic with proof by stacking small wins day after day. And speaking of wins, Jocko's philosophy on fitness isn't about looking good on Instagram. It's about building resilience. He doesn't care about aesthetics. He cares about function, about grit, about being strong enough to carry yourself and others when it matters. His workouts are simple but savage. Wake up early. Sweat, push yourself past your comfort zone. Not for vanity, but for life. Because physical strength reinforces mental strength. When you conquer your body, one of the most powerful moments in the book is when Jocko talks about the word good. You lose your job? Good. You now have time to find something better. You got injured? Good. You learn not to take your body for granted. You failed a project? Good. It's a chance to grow. It's not toxic positivity, it's discipline reframing reality. Because the world isn't going to hand you comfort or clarity. But if you have discipline, you can find value in everything, even pain, sleep, nutrition, work ethic. Jocko covers it all. He says sleep is important, but don't let it become an excuse. If you have to get less sleep for a period to achieve your mission, then so be it. Food, fuel, not entertainment. He eats clean not for pleasure but for performance. And work ethic? It's simple. You show up early, you stay late. You crush your task, whatever it is, because how you do anything is how you do everything. There's a moment when Jocko says, "Don't count on others to make your life better. Depend on yourself." That hits deep. We live in a world that tells us to look outside for answers, for validation, for handouts, for shortcuts. But real strength comes from within, from doing the hard things, from choosing discipline. Not because it's easy, but because it builds character. You might wonder, how do you start if you're overwhelmed? If you failed 100 times before? Jocko says, start small, but start now. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Do 5 push-ups. Cut 1 junk food. Say no to 1 distraction. Stack those little wins, because the discipline you build in small areas spills over into everything else. And suddenly, you're no longer the person who wants to change. You're the person who does. And that's the heart of this book. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create it through consistent action. You don't wish for motivation. You generate it by moving forward 1 step at a time. Discipline equals freedom. Because when you control your mind, your time, your habits, you're finally free. So next time your alarm goes off and your bed feels too good to leave, remember Jocko's voice. Get up, go, do. Not because it's easy, but because this is who you are now. A person of discipline, a person who owns their life. Thanks for listening to this immersive summary of Discipline Equals Freedom by Jocko Willink. If you found value in this, don't forget to subscribe to Audiofybooks for more inspiring, beginner-friendly book summaries like this one. Until next time, stay disciplined and stay free.